Well, good afternoon. I'm delighted you've joined me today. It's Tuesday, it's the 24th of June, and it's running away from us. Anyway, it's a magnificent, well, no point me going on. It's our summer now and it's hot and magnificent. In fact, there was a warning, a weather warning this morning in one of the newspapers warning about some hot stuff to come, and they're not talking about Portabanus. Anyway, you're welcome. Now, this is a subject I've said many times that I'm not that comfortable in talking about, and of course is the war in Gaza. There's obvious reasons. The fact that I'm Jewish means that people will automatically go, geez, he's biased. You know, I suppose I'd be looking towards Israel maybe. Palestinians would be looking towards Gaza. It's a natural thing. But I'm trying to be open-minded about it. And I try not to do too many broadcasts about it on my video chats. But there was a statement put up on social media today by an Arab guy I know down here who puts up the most ridiculous, hateful stuff that doesn't help in any way whatsoever in bringing peace. Spreading hate, these marches, these pro-Palestinian marches, they're only confirming to Hamas what Hamas is doing is correct. And then, of course, in the news just now, I noticed on Fox, I look at them all, Fox, CNN, all of them, I noticed that there was a report from Los Angeles, so it had been early morning there now, and Jewish people going to the synagogue for early morning prayers were being beaten up by pro-Palestinians. You see Israeli marches, what have you. You don't see violence. I think with Hamas, violence begets violence. I mean, why aren't these people... You can't just go up to someone and say, you're a Jew, I want to kill you. The Nazis did that. But I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, this is the statement that got me riled today. It says, you cannot understand what happened on October the 7th if you don't go back to 1948. What the hell is that? Do you think, I'm pointing to the guy who put this statement up, it was a copied statement. Do you think that Hamas gives two shits about Palestinians? Do you honestly think they're thinking back to 1948? Money! I'll explain. Let's go back to October the 7th very quickly. Maybe some people think it's a war against Israel. You know what genocide is? The prime example of genocide is what Hamas did on October the 7th. They came into Israel. Genocide is when you fight an army, or you're there to get an army. That's called a war. Genocide is what Hamas did on October the 7th. They came into Israel to a party of youngsters enjoying a party in the desert. In fact, it was a party for peace. Enjoying the party in the desert and massacred all 260. And those survived. They took them as hostages, some young girls. You can see the video. They videoed everything, so stop even saying, oh, no, they didn't. They took young girls, they raped them, shot one in the back of the head, brought her back into Gaza dead in the back of a truck. All these videos are available. I don't know if they're still available. And people throwing shoes at them. It was horrible. War is horrible. But that was no war. Then they marched into a kibbutz and they killed, murdered children, women, burnt. There was a mother and child clinging together, burnt alive. That's not war. War is when you're facing an army. They weren't facing any army. That's called genocide. Okay, that's it in short. So this thing about you can't understand what happened on October the 7th if you don't go back to 1948. Let me go back to 2007 when Hamas took power. Democratic vote? Sorry, I'm laughing. There's no democratic vote. Of course it wasn't. Any opposition like Fatah that came up against them were massacred. They were executed. They were imprisoned. They were banished. I think the figures then was 161 dead. This is a democratic vote. 161 Palestinians dead and 700 wounded and some arms, limbs. And while these people are out demonstrating, the pro-Palestinians all over the world, It's saying to Hamas, the very people who did that to Palestinians, it's saying to Hamas, we agree with you. We agree with you. Do you know, if this was about the Palestinians, answer me this question. Now stop and listen and stop closing your ears. October the 7th was planned for 2 years. I am not 100% sure, but one should imagine that Iran was involved. Of course, Hezbollah was involved, and Hamas. It was all planned. Do you think for one moment this has got to do with the Palestinians? They knew the response of Israel. They knew that. Of course, the world knows. They didn't take to work that out. You massacre 1,500 Israelis. The idea of the worst since the Holocaust. Idea if we're going to respond, you know that. Knowing they're going to respond, and you're the leader of the Palestinians in Gaza, you as the leader of there to protect the Palestinians in preparation for the response. Where do they protect them? Well, unless I'm mistaken, there are miles of tunnels deep under Gaza, which would be perfect for women and children to shelter. No. So why didn't Hamas allow them into the tunnels? Simple. They needed dead bodies, especially children and women. Why? Because their plan was to turn the world against Israel. In short, the growth of anti-Semitism, the worst since the Second World War. Look at this child. Look what Israel, look what the Jews are doing. It worked. Hamas got what they wanted. The world has turned against Israel. The world has turned against the Jews. You've seen it just now, just before I came onto this broadcast, being beaten up in Los Angeles. The next thing is going to be the murder of Jews in different countries. You know that. You don't have to be clever to know that. So to put up a statement that you need to go back to 1948, what the Hamas give a shit about 1948? They don't give a shit about Palestinians. What's this all about? How come these people marching don't have a megaphone to Hamas and say, where's the billions in aid? How come the leaders of Hamas are living in luxury with private jets? A program was done on one of the stations, and I think it was BBC, showing the investments made by Hamas worldwide, by the leaders, not for Hamas, for them. Billions and billions and billions. And it's pouring in now in aid. What do the Palestinians get out of it? Why don't Hamas put down their arms, give back the prisoners, the hostages? And that would be it. If they care, they're meant to be leading the Palestinians, protecting the Palestinians. They don't even allow them to shelter. I'm sorry for being strong on my words, but it's my belief. I don't want one more Palestinian to die. Innocent Palestinian, I should say, to die. I don't want one more Israeli to die. I don't want one more Ukrainian to die. I've got grandchildren. I don't want them to be brought up in a world of hatred. As long as we support terror, it's going to spread to us like a cancer, and it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. Stop these demonstrations, make them illegal. Stop with this free speech bullshit. Free speech. If I went to Puerto Banús tonight here in Marbella, I got up and started shouting, get the blacks out of Spain, how long would it be before I was arrested and probably deported? Why aren't these students in Harvard and Columbia, etc.? Do you know, I saw a Jewish student the other day, and I think it was Columbia University, excuse me if it wasn't. So when a student goes into a university, they have a card, like a credit card, and they just put it on a machine. The machine goes green, and the gate opens for them to go in, like the London Underground. With cameras, the Jewish student went to the university, put his card, and it went red. Columbia University banned him for being Jewish. It's a sad, sad world we're living in today, and I'm there praying for peace. Peace for the Palestinians, peace for everyone. Destroy terror. Destroy terror. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I'm delighted you're with us. I'll just switch this off here. I pressed the wrong